You good? Yo.
Too crooked. Hey.
Welcome back to the Mark Our Words podcast, the official podcast of YouTube. We was talking about something before, but I guess we're not going to talk about that no more.
Yeah, the camera's crooked. But
yeah, it's good. What's good with you, Chen?
Man, life is gorgeous, man.
You got to tell me something what's gorgeous about life, because you didn't use beautiful this time. You used gorgeous. So you got to actually point out what's gorgeous about life.
My beautiful girlfriend passed her comps.
Shout out to your girl. Shout out to your lady. Man. And stuff like that.
So,
imagine surprised she
congratulations.
Surprised she didn't drop out yet.
No, she loves her PhD program.
Really?
Yeah.
She don't feel stressed?
Man, she just did 3 days of testing, wrote about 10,000 words, about, I think she said 72 pages. in 3 days.
Listen,
I can't even write an article.
Listen here. I'm getting back to writing too.
I need to.
But I ain't writing no 72 pages. Listen here, man. You better not be just falling in love with school. Eventually, the page is gonna be over. You know what I mean?
Man.
No, but shout out to your lady, man.
Yeah,
you know, we all rooting for her and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure she finishes. This is the last stage, right?
No, she got 2 more years.
No, I'm saying like there's nothing higher than a doctor, right? Like,
they got post.
Jesus, she going for that
postdoctoral.
She a doctor.
I don't get it, man. I asked her. I was like, I thought it was the last. She's like, no, you gotta do this and then do that and then be assistant.
It makes you want to go back to school, don't it?
Oh no, I would never go back.
Oh wow.
I asked my sister if she gonna go back, the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
She said, nah. I was like, the only reason you're not going back is because we ain't go back. Because she's competitive like that. So once she's winning, she's lazy. Once she's winning, she's lazy.
So you say if you in the middle one,
we had a master's, she would probably try to get her master's.
She probably would have got a doctor's.
PhD, she would definitely try to get her PhD, even though she's got her MBA. It's like, why are you getting a PhD for? I'm like, yeah, you don't got one. So
yes, it's competitive.
But
my wife is not that way. She wanted to go and get her master's and stuff like that. She wanted to do that. And she realized she got to go back to school and study and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not fun,
and I told her, I said, hey, listen, you got until 35.
Dang.
35.
You put a time limit?
Yeah, I put a time limit. I said, listen here. Dang. Like, you on your time right now. You know we're married.
She's in her 20s right now, right?
She's 30.
Oh, wow.
So she got 5.
Wow, that happened fast.
She got 5 years to make a decision. Because after 35, you ain't going back to school. This is the cap of how much money you gonna make. Okay, this is it. You know, but she's happy with her job and things like that. But I'm actually happy every time you say life is beautiful. Today you say life is gorgeous.
Life is gorgeous, man.
Based on your diagnosis, you are a self-diagnosed angry person, or
I got anger problems.
Or someone who said they got anger problems, and I want to talk about that. Not so much of your anger problems, but just anger in men.
Man.
A lot of times, I found out from personal experience that men's default emotion, default meaning the one that they go to, the one that's easiest for them to go to, is anger. For some reason, anger can mean in some ways masculine, some way that you're enforcing some type of power, some authoritative emotion and things like that is viewed that way.
Yeah.
But I'm not angry, and I still feel very masculine. I actually think is more masculine to be less angry about multiple things. Because more times than not, around the people that I've been around, when I hear them yell about things, I'm like, you yell about this? You get what I'm saying?
Be careful, man.
Be careful? How so?
Jonathan Majors was saying the same thing. Look what happened to him.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that Today Show interview?
Man,
it's never good to go on to the Today Show and do an interview.
That sounds like a bunch of. Hey man, I saw the video. I think you're semi-innocent. I'm
not even on the innocent part. Like
it just didn't seem like a good.
He thought he had a bar when he said, "Yeah." I said like Coretta. I said, "Bro, don't say it again."
His man said, "Are you guilty?" He said, "I'm guilty of breaking her heart." I was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
These interviews are never a good idea. I was like, "Bro,
go back to whoever was interviewing about that masculinity."
But no, How? Because now, even though you say you have anger problems, I wouldn't define you as an angry person because I haven't seen you in your quote unquote element of anger and things like that. So talk to me about everything I just said so far about how have you ever experienced anger being a default emotion for you earlier on and things like that to where it's just easier to go to anger besides anything else?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Especially when I was a child, I think that was the default emotion. That, you ever seen like a boy get angry versus girls get angry, or boys cry versus girls cry? Like girls would be like, "Hey," boys would be like,
It's almost like a build up.
yeah, they be blowing like they want to do something. I'm like, little boy, you better put your fist down.
Okay.
But that was me. I would just be like, or even when I was really young, you would, start running. When you get in trouble or you get beaten, sent to your room, you just start making a whole bunch of noise until your mom comes in, like, hey, I'm like,
Okay.
But yeah, I was an angry kid. I think even till like my late teens, I was pretty angry. I think me acknowledging that now, I never like punch walls. Like I was never that angry person.
Facts.
Or fight in school or like just curse at my mom. I was never to that point. Like, but I definitely had a problem controlling like my anger. I think now I still get angry pretty quickly, but a lot of times I could logic my way out of it to the point where I'm like, oh, you're dumb. Like, why you getting angry about it? That's dumb to be angry. And so a lot of times a lot of the anger don't come out. Or if I do get angry, I can say, oh, I'm angry. Yeah, that was wrong. All right, we deal with that when we need to.
But that's better than a lot of people.
But a lot of people don't think they got anger problems.
A lot of people won't even call it anger. That would trick me out.
That's true.
A lot of people won't even call it anger and things like that because they figure that aggression is part of a man's DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with them to a certain degree, but yeah, go ahead.
Listen, I feel like in the right arena, yes, like in the right moment, but like when I'm talking to my wife, right? I don't feel the need to be authoritative or to show that I'm authoritative.
Yeah.
Rather, it's like if you're you're is. If you're not, you're not. So there is no Blair, come here. You know what I'm saying? You better come. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no yelling and things like that. We don't yell in our household and things like that. But when I look at other men and things like that, I just want to know, as someone who don't have anger problems, I can objectively say I don't have anger problems, right? But I get angry and things like that. I save my anger for those times because, the older I get, you only have I probably got 3 fights left in me, maybe 4, right? I wonder, where does that anger come from? Is it like, I know people like to say, and they go with society, the man goes through a lot of stress. He goes and he gets beat up in the world. He gets beat up by society. We talk about the black man specifically. And then when he comes home, he's just angry at the world. And I'm like, that may be true, but I don't feel that burden. You get what I'm saying? Even though I know what it is, I don't operate with that burden.
This guy.
Am I crazy?
This guy don't believe in racism.
Okay.
That's crazy. This guy don't believe in racism.
I do believe in it.
RRP.
But I'd rather be angry at the racist than come home and be angry at my wife that be like, you hungry? No. I'm like, no.
Can't do nothing to the racists. They won't pay us. They don't pay us. They don't give us. Anyways. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think a lot of times a lot of kids have been traumatized. And the way woman deals, even women, you always have that narrative of the angry black woman.
That is a strong narrative. Yep.
And I think that's just because of, especially in black society or black childhood, a lot of black children have to grow up in harsh conditions. And so you get a lot of that not being able to deal with your emotions correctly. And it might or being able to have to harden yourself to deal with the environment that you're growing up with. And as you age, you might move out of that environment, or you might not always be in that environment, and you being conditioned to be one way might not lend to the severity of this, or even the severity of the situation. So I think that's one. I think two, I think for men have been conditioned to, over years of humanity, have been conditioned to have to snap, have to pop off. Like something happened, you have to be able to your adrenaline needs to be able to pump up so you could fight or defend whatever the village, your family, whatever. I think now in society, we don't really have those threats. Like a lion's not going to just come into your camp and start eating your food.
It's kind of crazy.
But we still have to deal with these emotions that have developed over millennia. I think third, a lot of people have going back to your last point, have told us through birth, like, you are a man, you gotta deal with a man. Like, being a man is not quote unquote being disrespected. And if you're disrespected as a man, you have to do something about that.
That is my pet peeve.
But that's I feel like you said that before. Like, if you disrespect as a man, you gotta deal with it.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe in that.
But
my thing is,
and how do you deal with that without being angry?
I deal with it physically, but but my whole point is, I don't look for the disrespect, right?
Okay.
So, like, if I'm so obsessed with not being disrespected, it's like, what? It's like she didn't mean nothing by it, or he didn't mean nothing by it. It's kind of like the whole thing of, like,
you want a banana? What? What are you trying to say? Like,
so
you hungry?
It's kind of like the whole idea.
Shopping?
It's like the whole idea. Remember when we used to go, like, back in the day? We used to go to parties and things like that. You know, as teenagers and things like that. We used to see, like, a whole
shout out to Skateworks.
Yeah, back in the day, or like even the Paradox. If you was around during those times,
yeah,
they don't have those places no more. It's kind of crazy, right? But my thing is, a room full of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah,
someone go step on your shoe.
Yeah,
potentially, right?
Yeah.
You don't even think of context of, like, somebody go bump into me. Someone go. You just automatically go, like, this is disrespect. I don't view it like that. Like, I'm very, like, logical. Like, with my, like, I'm like, you have to blatantly disrespect me for me to, like, be like, that's disrespectful. Like, like, you're trying to get a reaction out of me, and I'm gonna give it to you. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there's something to, if I was to, like, do a survey with multiple women, right? Because I have a lot of female friends that I talk to, and when I hear them talk about, like, people that they dated and things like that, one thing that always came up with, like, he was just angry, and I'm like, well, let's go back during the time where, going back to your point of, like, so much responsibilities when you come out of birth, it's like, to be a man, you have to do this. You have to deal with this. Chen, if you're not a man unless you handle all the bills,
that's facts.
You get what I'm saying?
That's what they told us.
And then you gotta fight the intruders. You get what I'm saying? You can never run away.
Not doing that.
You gotta work. You gotta walk on the outside of the curb. You get what I'm saying? Like,
sometimes I do that.
You have to.
Probably forget it.
You have to sleep on the side of the bed that is the closest to the door and things like that.
I like sleeping there at the window. I like sunlight.
So I think there is a period where I wasn't angry, but I felt pressured. I felt stressful, but I didn't. It didn't come out in anger for me. Go ahead.
I remember once, and this is the first time I ever heard this, and it was when we were young. We was like 16, 17, and you was talking to this girl, and you said that I would not date this person until I get my money up. And I was like, why? But I think part of that is because I didn't grow up with a father, so I didn't know all the traditions of being a man. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, oh yeah, just who cares? Like, if she got money, let her pay. But I think that story or that logic is something that a lot of men have been told. You know, even like dating. I could only imagine a man who works, pays for almost everything, put their kids through school, and then comes home and feels like he don't really get the respect that he deserves. I could see him getting angry. I could see him just feel unappreciated. Let me say that. And because men don't know how to deal with their emotions, that comes out as anger.
But to me, that is intentional.
What do you mean?
As in, like, not appreciating someone when you're living rent free, bills free. I'll give you a perfect example. I meant to send this to you, but I didn't know if you had Instagram blocked or whatever, so I ain't send it. Right. So this lady, she was like, this is a Christian lady, obviously.
Shout out to the Christian.
And she was like, dinner time is very important in our household.
Yeah.
She's talking to us, right? It's her drinking a mug of coffee or whatever. She said dinner time is
That's
very...
not the lady that be talking to the camera like.
No, it's not.
Okay,
right?
all right.
She said dinner time is very important in our household.
Okay.
Right, very important. And one day, my husband was late for dinner. He went to work, and of course he didn't come back. Let's say dinner was at 6:00.
Yeah.
6:00 he ain't coming, right? And she said she felt herself get angry because she said dinner time is very important to all of us and things like that. Like, we do not miss dinner as a family, but he was late, and or he was going to be late, and she said she had to make a decision at that moment. She's a Christian, so she was talking in the Christian lingo, like the Holy Spirit told me. You have a decision.
Amen.
You have a decision to make.
Amen.
Of when he comes in, how are you going to react? Are you going to treat him like the king that he is and things like that? Okay. I tell you, the Christian lingo, right?
Yeah.
Or are you going to basically like knife him with your words and things like that? Because she felt herself like get angry.
Yeah.
Right. And she said when he finally came in, she greeted him. She gave him a hug, and she said he melted in her arms, and basically was like, you don't know what type of day I had today. It was a hard day for me, right? And she said if she would have went with her emotions at first, like it would have like basically like deterred him from being able to decompress and things like that. Some people may look at that as like a great story. To me, I'm like, it's common sense to me. The Holy Spirit don't gotta tell me to not yell at somebody when they first walk in the door. That's craziness to me. I'm sorry.
It's
right?
not crazy.
No, it is craziness. Like,
it's just not important to you.
Nobody wants to get yelled at when they walk in their house first thing.
Yes, but people are upset though, and people yell when they're upset. So it's not crazy. It's just not. People are just not know how to communicate healthily. Like, people get angry and yell. That's the thing. Instead of be like, no, that upset me.
So back in the day, Angry Chin used to huff and puff and blow like the house down.
Yeah.
So how does Angry Chin look like today? Is it silent treatment? Is it quietness? Is it just?
Nah, I did that once in my current relationship, and I'm not gonna go get into.
But
detail.
I'm not even talking about relationship. I'm just talking about like if you just get angry, like general.
Well, that's the only person I'm probably gonna get angry with.
Well,
there's nobody in my life that my sisters don't get me angry. My mother don't really get me angry.
So that's the closest person to you that probably have access to those emotions.
Yeah. So when that happened, we talked about it. And I promised her I would never do that again. So like, anger for us, anger is not as much of
an issue.
Yeah, it's not really much of an issue because we try to respect each other's boundaries, and then we're at a point now in our relationship where we know what ticks the other person off, what the other person doesn't like, and then we just tell each other blatantly, like, I didn't like that. I didn't like how that made me feel. I didn't like how you said that. And the person will either apologize and be like, okay, I understand, but I'm not quite sorry, but we could talk about this more. but that's just something that we develop over time. But I mean, going back to your story about the lady and being upset, I think for a lot of men, though, they don't have that environment to share those emotions. Like I want to even back up even more because you did say something about like people are intentionally not appreciating people who are men.
Okay, based on the example you gave me, like, and maybe I'm a genius. I don't know, because some things just sound like common sense to me. If I'm living with you rent free and things of that nature, and I ain't got to worry about bills and things like that, I would do my best to show my appreciation daily. It doesn't have to be like at a 10 every time, but a thank you. Like, okay, do like you need anything? You straight? You get what I'm saying? Because I'm living here. My life is for free right now.
Yeah, but human beings get comfortable quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Where things become the norm, and then the norm becomes entitlement,
and then it's like I deserve
like
this life.
This is what we do. Like, so I can't say that. What might seem like, oh man, this is a great situation for you.
I'm probably gonna switch up eventually.
But like eventually, when you get to that level, you're like, oh no, we do this. This is what we do. And so now, because it's the norm for that lady, the norm was having dinner on time. Like, it's an important thing for them. And when that norm got broken, she was like, oh, it's his fault that norm got broken. And it does take somebody who is very aware of themselves and even aware of their emotions to be like, whoa, back up, back up, back up. This doesn't seem like him.
Yeah.
And so, I think for a lot of people, I think that's a reasonable person. I think a lot of people get angry at that situation. So I think for a lot of people, for myself, I was in that boat where I would get angry at a lot of things, and then I had to talk myself out of like, that's dumb. Why you getting upset about that? Like, okay, I don't know why Shorty's late, but hey, man, let me ask, like, why? What's up? Like, one thing that I learned from you, every time I call you and you're busy, the first thing you do is like, hey, what's up? Everything good? And then you would say, hey, I can't really talk right now. Let me call you back. Because you never know. Versus like, hey, I can't really talk right now. Let me call you back. And I'm like, damn, that was the last person. Now I'm like,
that's not funny. But that's how dark humor. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a Christian.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Don't ban us, TikTok and YouTube. Anyways, but I think, asking questions and trying to figure out why somebody was something, and then based on their answer, then you could be angry or not. But some people have really good reasons.
My whole point that I'm trying to convey is I want men, my brothers, to not use anger as a default emotion. Like, I'm not even saying go to therapy.
Yeah.
That was Chin's line for like a whole year for a good period of time.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Usually Bree would say.
But my thing is, a lot of times I feel like, hey, there may be some trauma. There may be some societal wiring that makes you feel like I'm more powerful or I'm more authoritative when I raise my voice.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Or when I'm a dictator and things like that. Or even sometimes I may even take it to the point of like, hey man, like you're showing your leadership skills at this moment. And it doesn't even have to be relationally to like someone that you're sleeping with or things like that. I'm just like, your problem solving skills is not very. You're not looking for a resolution. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're just basically looking to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm very keen on, or that I try to be keen on, is to be a solutionist. And my solutions is not always good.
Yeah.
But it's a solution that I believe in.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't like being late, right? If you make me late, I'll leave you. That's my solution. You get what I'm saying? It's not right, but but I solved the problem. I won't be late. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's not right, but it's the truth. You get what I'm saying? Chris, you know,
the door closed.
Chris, like, because my thing is like, I'm not going to get emotional about this. I'm just going to solve the problem. I don't want to be late.
Why is she blowing up your phone?
I'm like, I left.
Come back.
No, because then I'm gonna be late. But I'm not. But when I say I'm a solutionist, I'm not saying that my solution is the good answer.
Yeah.
Most of the time, my solution is leading me away from somewhere that I don't want to be.
Yeah.
So like, even if it may make you angry, I'd rather deal with that than me being angry.
Yeah.
Because me being angry is not a good. It's not a good feeling for nobody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So like that's basically what's my point, that I don't want people to associate anger and yelling and things like that to masculinity and things like that. If you're angry, then okay, be angry. If you find yourself being angry and getting angry easier and easier off of things that you really shouldn't really be angry about, subjectively or objectively, I don't know. Then okay, get therapy. Now I'm the one saying talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But more times than not, nobody goal is not to be angry. You get what I'm saying? Nobody wakes up and say, I want to be angry today. I hope not.
Nah, we have a friend that was like, I'm trying to get in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
When we go to Myrtle Beach. Hey, there's people out there that friend is not even that angry of a person.
But my whole thing is,
So there's some angry people that's
and guess
like,
what?
I like being angry.
I am a solutionist. I leave them. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting my car. That's crazy. Okay, like it's just I just don't want people to attach masculinity.
Yeah.
Like, oh, in order for me to be a man is angry all the time. No, a man. We need to see other images of men, not only like displaying power and authoritative. Like I'm not going this far, but you know how some people go and be like, oh, a man is a father that take care of his sons and his daughters and things like that.
That's a man.
A man is someone that take care of his wife. You have some people that go out here, and I'm not even lying. You have some successful business people that like I see something. I don't see it all the time, but when I do see it, I notice it. I notice it a lot. When let's say when they say introduce yourself, Chen, right? That person would be like, well, my name is Chenadem. I am a father. They start with father first.
Whole time.
And then they go and list like everything after that. I'm a father. I'm a husband. You get what I'm saying? And then
5 businesses.
And then they go list the accolades and things like that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's lit.
But compared to some people that be like, yeah, I got this Fortune 500 company. I got this and this and this.
Don't even know they married. Like Jackson. What's that his name?
Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Whatever his name was. So it's like I just don't, because like I'm even kill. I use my anger for things that I feel like it's objectively to get angry about, and that's like if you disrespect my wife, if I feel disrespected intentionally, I'm gonna react. But yeah, I just want to make sure that men know, hey, anger in your relationships, in your friendships, in your problem solving, in your solution, anger don't have to be the default emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see anger kind of like I see crying. Like, well, no. I take that back. I see yelling and displaying like aggressive anger. Like I see crying. Like it also shows me that you're just not in control of your emotions. Like if you're angry, you can be angry. If you're sad, you can be sad. And if you go in the car, you just yell. Or you like, I gotta go to the gym, or I got you need to display that anger.
There's healthy ways to get that off. Yeah.
Versus like every time somebody says something to you, just start screaming. I see it as crying, and some people say it's healthy to cry. It's healthy to cry.
No, it's not.
It's not healthy to cry when you're doing it in inappropriate places. Like if you're in your car and you pull over, and you want to cry. Cool.
Go ahead, cry in the car. We have an episode.
But if you run a business and you just found out you lost millions of dollars and you gotta give a speech, and you start crying, bro. You're not a great CEO.
I'm leaving.
If you're the president of the United States and 9/11 happens and you start crying, well, I guess that's a good time.
That's crazy.
That's a good time. That's good time.
I just texted you about 9/11 too. I said 9/11 was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. I watched a video recently.
I was like, bro,
they were showing like the news happening while the crashes was happening.
I saw it live.
That was wild. That was wild.
But
that's a good time to cry. But I don't want you sobbing like you can't take a workout like like you get that one tear off. Get that one tear off.
You get the glory tear off.
Yeah, do that. Sorry, do one of those. But don't be like I don't know what's going on. Like so, I see anger the same way, or I see people getting aggressive with their anger the same way. Like you punch your walls, bruh. I'd rather you start crying for no reason. Like, you kick over furniture. Like, what's going on? Like, you breaking TVs? Come on, son. And so I think a lot of times we see anger as a permissible, or we see showing your anger as a permissible trait, versus like showing sadness. Well, I'd rather you show sadness than anger. Like, anger is a wild. Like, at least when you crying, it only affects you. When you're angry, you mess up my furniture in my house. Like, get out.
You calling me names now? I'm like,
what's going on?
Like, okay.
I can't do my dark humor.
Please, don't do it. Don't.
But when you're sad, it's only affecting you. But sometimes. All right.
No, my whole thing is, look, man. Stop with these public displays of anger in ways. Look, if you have these emotional outbursts or these emotional tantrums, go get therapy, go get help. Yeah. But if you're choosing anger to display your masculinity, I'm telling you, you're in for a rude awakening, bro.
Yeah,
because it's not the masculine way. it's becoming less and less masculine. Truthfully,
It's not. Yeah, it's not masculine.
Because now it's starting to become outdated. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yeah. Like,
but we never really had images of like the angry person always been the loser. Like in movies and cartoons, like the person that was always angry, like they're the loser.
Dude, you know what I learned? Don't steal this from me, because low key, you've been stealing some things from me. Yeah, I'm not even your mentor, and you should be taking back sayings and things like that.
I don't know. I don't recall.
I learned that I heard this. Well, I didn't hear this. I was watching something.
Yeah.
And I put the saying together based on what I watched, right? Passive aggressiveness is still aggression. And things like that. We don't view it as aggression because it's passive.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if you're angry at me and you're being aggressive towards me, of course I can see that. I'll be like, you're being aggressive. But if I'm being passive aggressive to you, I'm still being aggressive towards you, especially if you can point it out that I'm being passive at it. If I walk in your house and I don't say nothing to you, I ignore you, I give you my back, you get what I'm saying? Like, basically, like, don't talk to me. That's still a form of aggression.
Yeah.
And more times than not, aggression meets aggression. It's just preference. Am I gonna be passive about it, or am I gonna be aggressive about it? And my whole thing is, when it comes to aggression, I view, now that I'm older, and it's kind of crazy because I see myself getting older in my eyes. Like, aggression should just be like, we should use it as a superpower. it shouldn't be something like, aggression is not something that I go to off top. Like, it's so many steps before I get to aggression, even if it's passively. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll be like, once I get aggression, this is like no point of return for me right there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I do that step 1? Why would I do that step 10? Like, once we get to like step 22, I'm like, okay, now I gotta use aggression and things like that. I just wanted to say that because I learned that this past week and things like that. Like, oh, even passive aggressiveness is still aggression, but it's just passively. And I'm like, aggression usually meets with aggression and things like that.
Well, I mean, even talking about just being aggressive, I think that's only step 1. I think step 2 is being able to handle your anger, or being able to sit in your anger and be okay. And then step 3 is be able to display or talk about your anger in a healthy way. Yeah. Because, you do have a lot of people who avoid being angry. Like, they will get into arguments, and then when they start feeling themselves bubble up, they just shut down. Like, you see it with husbands. Usually, the book that I read, Gottman, The 7 Principles of Marriage, and it's the Gottman book. They talk about it being called flooded. And the reason why guys do it, because they do get aggressive, and it's too much emotion, so they kind of just shut it off, like, subconsciously. Whereas like a woman could get in that energy and then be okay like a couple minutes later, or just be able to thrive in that energy. Meaning like they could still like function, go to work, and be angry the whole time. Whereas for a guy, they have to like compartmentalize it, like put it somewhere else. And so, you would hear a lot of women just bickering, and the guy's just quiet. Like, I guess if you say so, if you want to, because that aggression is scary, like you said, and people know what that aggression would do. I think for one, even though I was laughing, we were both laughing, but I was laughing. Having solutions is probably the greatest thing you can do, because it's like, I'm not about to be angry, and I'm not about to sit here just letting my anger build up in this compartment that I put.
And the whole time I'm losing my appetite and stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to dip. Like, I'm about to go. You making me late. Got 20. I told you 2 hours ago we leaving at this time, and it's at this time, so I'm leaving. I don't think that's the best solution. We should work on ways, and maybe next time you give her 4 hours to tell her to start getting ready. But yeah, I think having ways to deal with your anger is probably the best solution. Not just not getting angry or just avoid the anger. I think you need to be able to get that out somehow. Because trust me, you could hold it in for however long you want to, but it's gonna come out.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, we're men now, so it's like anger can lead to jail time. I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, let's just chill. Let's not anger be the default emotion. You get what I'm saying? Anything else on anger and things like that as we grow up and get older, and more things, or maybe even some less things are bothering us now to this point.
Hey, don't be afraid to cut people off, man.
Whoa.
Hey, facts.
Are you cutting people off in 2024?
I mean, if they make you angry, man, like you said, jail time is real. Got you.
Okay.
You know, hey, man. And the wrong person might just say the wrong thing, and now look at you. So if somebody's not, you know, I remember I was dating somebody, and we got into a mini argument the second time we met. And then I got home, I was like, that was weird. I don't usually just be arguing with people like that. Like, I barely know this person. Never talk to her again. Never.
You know why? Some people feel like language of relationships is arguing and things like that. So like people are complicated and complex.
Yeah.
So people feel like, hey, you know, arguing is normal. Arguing is our normal. This is how we talk to each other. We talk at each other all the time. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't do this. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, just because we're in a relationship doesn't mean we have to disagree. Exactly.
That was
and things like that. I'm like, there's some people that have been in relationships that haven't argued in a real serious argument yet. You get what I'm saying? So it's like she probably just thought like this is how she talk in anger, and then
it was weird.
No, she is weird.
I mean, and so and even I remember watching, just piggyback on that. Like there was a therapist, he called himself the gamer therapist. He was talking to the guy Sneeko. And the therapist was like, I don't know what's going on, but every time we start talking, like I have to catch myself because I feel like I want to debate you. I don't know, like why that? And he was like, yeah, I get that a lot. And it's like certain people just bring that out of you, and those people are in your life. Either limit the interaction you have with that person, or cut them off entirely, depending on who that person is.
Facts.
Because tell you the truth, you might be angry for a real reason. It might just be the person that you're talking to or interacting with.
Hey, your life depends on it.
Yeah. I mean, even that. I mean, you start interacting with this person, now you're angry, and now you're interacting with somebody else, and now you're making that person angry. And so it's like, instead of making that change, just cut the cord right there. So.
Facts. Anything else on this topic? I feel like this was a good topic.
Nah, that's it, man.
Y'all be good. Blessings.